It's 8:30. The show's in an hour. Where are you? If you think I'm gonna believe the excuse that you're late because you were moisturizing your lips, you are sorely mistaken.
Hi, Amaya. I'm really flattered you thought of me, but I'm just not interested in being part of a role play where I'm Steve Jobs and you're a little iPod Nano that can't turn herself on.
Look, Amaya, it's really interesting that you thought of me, but I'm just not interested in being part of a role play where I'm Jamie Oliver and you're a little turkey twizzler no one can know I've had in my mouth.
Amaya, this role play where I'm Pennywise the Clown and you're my filthy, filthy drain?
Meet me at 7.
Amaya, where are you? It's bad enough you being late for a 9 AM call time. Are you literally sleeping in for a 9 PM call time? Fucking audacious! If you turn up late holding a venti frappuccino again, I swear to... Where's Amaya?
Oh, all right. Thank you very much. You got any sheep,
No, she's not here.
She's not here. Where is Amaya? I don't know why I thought she'd be in there. Amaya, the show is in 5 minutes. I am literally fuming. Where are you? And if I even sense that you're late because you were getting a cheeky chicken katsu from Wasabi, I'm at the end of my tether and I will end your greasy life. And we begin. Ago, I started thinking to myself, God, I cannot believe it. I am going to have my own show that I am completely responsible for writing, where it's just me, the stage, and the audience for an hour. And then it hit me. I am going to have my own show, which I am completely responsible for writing, where it's just me, the stage, and the audience for an hour. What have I done? Why did I think I had time for this? I have got a severe motivational deficit, and it is my 3rd year. God. Something you hear all the time when you start studying here is honestly, like, chill out, like, don't worry, because, like, nothing actually matters till 3rd year. No one tells you what to do when you actually get to 3rd year. It's like the 1st year is your free trial, and the 2nd year is your 2nd free trial that you signed up for with a different email address. And then you get to 3rd year. Suddenly, they force you to buy the app, you've got stress alopecia, and you still don't know how to write an essay on a book that doesn't have a schmoop page! Oh, right, we're 1 minute in and I've already started to forget the set. Now, let's put that silly old degree to one side for a sec, because, you know, it's not like I'm actually going to need it to get employed or survive or sustain my toxic relationship with Uber Eats. I feel as though stand-up comedy can be so negative. And so with this show, I want to talk about something that makes me happy. Something that I love more than anything else. Hatred. I have tried to be positive. I've watched videos of other people doing yoga. I once ingested a vitamin. I honestly think that I am in some way predisposed to negativity. I tried to sort my mental health out recently, and I discovered I am literally allergic to antidepressants. I give my body medically prescribed endorphins, and what does it give me in return? It gives me hives! Psychological improvement? Well, that's not the only thing I'm allergic to. I am also allergic to cats. You know, it doesn't sound like it would be too bad if it weren't for the fact that I know in my bones. I know as surely as I know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse. I know that I am destined to be a cat lady. I know what some of you are going to say next. Oh, why don't you get one of the hairless ones? Because they are repugnant. If any of you have read my diary or my private Instagram account, then you will know that I am really not in a position to be turning my nose up to any pussy. Hairless or otherwise.
Mary Berry is wrinkly. It doesn't mean I want to buy her for £3,000 and let her piss on my sofa. I don't want a pet that looks like a dementor and a scrotum had an abortion. It looks like someone waxed and shrunk Simon Cowell. It's a no from me. Now, I know some of you else may be thinking, God, is the entire structure of this show just going to be this bitch banging on about things she hates? And to that I say no. Like that mayo, this show is going to go all over the place. I'm a very complex person, and this show is a testament to that. It's got so many layers, like a Michelin star trifle. I have written a very specific personal manifesto of everything that I think is wrong with the world, and I would like to air it now through song. There is a lot wrong with the world, you know, famine, poverty, hundreds of years of colonial atrocities, Piers Morgan's Twitter. Piers Morgan. But this song is not about anything serious. Oh no. And don't be surprised if I mess the lyrics up quite chronically, because another thing I hate, learning things. Catch me watching the PowerPoint slides. How about that? We're really early now. Okay. No, spoiler alert. I need to empty my emotional litter. I've got a lot of it because I'm on hiatus from Twitter. Tried to craft some vision boards, but now everything's covered in glitter. I once found glitter on a cappuccino, and once on the tip of a well-loved dildo. Hated Zumba. Doing all these new things to feel #blessed. But I guess I just kept getting #stressed. There's orange dust from my bag of Watsits, and it's all over my brand new Fitbit. Finally ready to admit lazier than Garfield, but with better tits. Positivity, it's just not for me. 'Cause I hate a lot of things arbitrarily. Oh, what do I hate first? There's a lot of these. I hate getting acne on my cheeks. I hate risotto that has leaks. And I hate doing my degree. I hate a lot of things. It's an integral part of me. Oh, here's a list of things that I really, really hate. I hate that sour cream is free but guac costs extra at Nanamex. I hate that it's not acceptable to wear bed socks during sex. I hate that until last week I didn't know what VAT meant. I hate when I put used mugs on the top shelf and 3 months later they've started to ferment. getting eczema on my eyelids. And I hate when I run out of bubbles in my bubble tea. Oh, I hate a lot of things. It's an integral part of me. Oh God, what do I hate next? Slide? Oh yeah. I hate that peach is so popular when the real queen is Miss Apricot. And I hate that my ankles get hypothermic when I wear a nice culotte. I hate that I don't know if celiac means that you can't eat bread or you can't eat dairy. And I hate the industrial glorification of the Western military. Don't call me Teresa because I just did politics. Positivity, it's just not for me. Cause I hate a lot of things arbitrarily. I hate writing essays about Chaucer when there's not enough sherbet in my flying saucer. I hate the one-star food rating at Gardy's. Yikes. There we go. Oh, I hate a lot of things. It's an integral part of me. And one thing I really hate is when songwriters are so lazy that they can't be bothered to write a bridge, so they just sing the last chorus twice. It's just not for me. Cause I hate a lot of things arbitrarily. I hate a dry croissant. I hate the Comic Sans font. I hate that Gavin and Stacey stopped at season 3. I hate a lot of things. It's an integral part of me. I hate a lot of things. It's an integral part of me. Oh, I hate a lot of things. It's an integral part of me. Comedians make it look so easy to draw water and Now, I know I implied that after the song I would be done talking about things that I hate, but I have one more. Because you know what? People will lie to you in this world, Gregory. 1 minute it's all, you know, rainbows and sparkles, and the next you're finding out that a chocolate orange isn't actually one of your 5 a day. You know? And apparently your cholesterol is higher than the 5th verse of Beyonce's Love on Top. And you're at extreme risk of cardiac arrest. I digress. Another thing that I hate is the fact that people my age are having children. On purpose! Good. No, I deeply resent the fact that if I were to spawn new life from my womb, it would no longer be considered just a misadventurous teen pregnancy, but could actually be a viable choice. The other day, my friend said to me, you know, I think you'd make a really good mum one day. Don't you insult me like that! I strongly renounce the notion that I could ever mother anything! When I was in year 5, my pet rock was mineral deficient. Honestly, my child could come to me and
say, Mum, I'm considering experimenting with recreational heroin. And I'd be all... Well, Tortellini. Sometimes you just have to treat yourself. But if you're gonna blag some skag tonight, do make sure you're still home by bedtime. You've got an important day tomorrow. You only graduate preschool once. Honestly, I'd be all... This is me dissolving my citalopram into my Chardonnay. Sit down, Tortellini. Mummy's going to do a little preview of Mummy's new show, One Woman War and Peace, rock musical. And she'd be all, I haven't eaten in 3 days. And I'd be all, do you know what that is from an academic standpoint, darling? Queering the socio-conventions of motherhood? I look at you, darling, and I think to myself, do you even read theory? When you're leafing through your little very hungry caterpillar, are you even thinking about the chrysalis as a post-Marxist symbol for the metamorphosis of the techno-consumerist age? You're sat there and you're all, ooh, I'm hungry, and ooh, I haven't had calcium since I was in utero. Are you not thinking about the fact that meals are a social construct to keep us slaves to the mob conventions of day and night? School serves you hot dinners, darling. Mummy serves you hot takes. Now shut up and keep stitching Emmeline Pankhurst's left nostril onto that crop top. Mummy's got Etsy customers to think about! Legit though, I'm honestly thinking about never having children just to prove a point. I mean, what are we childless women like? We'll just sat there in our jobs like Muller yogurts with empty corn. And I know some of you might be thinking, oh, what if you got older and one day you really want children? Would you honestly cut off your nose to spite your face like that? No, of course I wouldn't. But I would cut off my nose to spite my mum! I love my mum, and my mum really wants me to have children, but I would honestly rather have the plaque shaved off each individual tooth with a Gillette razor than become anything like her! My mum's actually here tonight. Where are you, Mum? Hi, Mum. How are you doing it? You doing it?
Great.
It only gets worse from here. Oh dear, Yankees in my Nikes.
Telegram, I'm okay.
See what I'm about to get at. So, my mum, really love my mum, but she's a bit audacious. There's a couple of little facts that you need to learn about her. So, my mum likes to take a torch into Abercrombie and Fitch and ask them if they've had a power cut. My mum likes to, well, she used to bring around this little brown Crayola felt tip so that she could colour in the roots of her hair wherever so took of her fancy. Outside our local Greggs, inside our local And at my year 8 parents' evening. My mum, she likes to bring her own little snacks into the cinema, you know. And you might be thinking, oh, that's all right. Maybe she's got, you know, bag of Tesco's. Yeah, you know it's true. Maybe she's got a bag of Tesco's own popcorn, you know, a little bag of crisps, bar of chocolate, vacuum-packed cold meats. Talk Leslie Bring into Harry. Hams. Peppercorned beef. Mackerel. I'm aware. I sit next to her. My dad, Simon, God love him, he's no less bizarre when it comes to the culinary sphere. Christmas is a very big event on Simon's dietary calendar. And this is because Simon likes to cook 1 metric ton of birds. The entire cast of Chicken Run is just Last year at Christmas, my dad cooked 2 turkeys, 2 geese, a chicken, a guinea fowl, a pheasant, a goose, and yes, a honey roast pigeon. For our family of 3! 3! The RSPB is quaking! This is the level of unbridled excess that gave Henry VIII gout, morbid obesity, and forced him to be carried around from place to place via medieval crane lift. And even he is like, next the goose, Cromwell, and only one man. Now, my mum won't make Facebook. And you know, she does have a stealth account so she can stalk all her friends and collect a widely diverse catalogue of memes. I ask her, Mum, why don't you just make a standard account with your standard name? And she says, well, Amaya, I don't want anyone to steal my identity. No one wants to steal my identity. What could possibly be in it for them? You know it's true, Mum. Now, for all I've joked, you know, my poor mum has had to put up with quite a lot for years. So when I was little, I used to have this extreme quasi-religious guilt complex. Kind of like a 12th century Catholic flagellant was in the body of a sentient Cabbage Patch Kid. My mum had to sit listening to me say, chuckle. Forgive me, Mother, for I have licked my Play-Doh. Meanwhile, my mum is there like, okay, Siri, how many Hail Marys does it take to repent for infanticide? Oh dear. However, there came a point when I was about 11 where I committed a particular sin that I felt so extreme, I was so racked with guilt, that I realised a verbal confession simply wasn't going to lacerate the mustard. As a thinker. And thus I penned, nay, gel pen, a formal, addressed letter to my mother. The topic? Oh, just the intricate details of my masturbatory exploit. And I was so racked
with guilt, I somehow thought that I'd have a better chance at repentance if I decorated the letter with Tracy Beaker stickers. Dear Mum, for the last 5 years, I've been dry humping your favourite cushions. Yes, I do mean the two-tone sequin one from Madeline Home. Regards, Amaya. Bog off. Now, you might be wondering what on earth possessed me to relay this information to my mother, but I had no idea what masturbation was. I thought I was the only person in the world who'd done it, and for a while I was a little bit smug. I was a little bit of a genius. No one else in the world knew about this little physiological blip. I was like, Isaac Newton wants what I have. But soon thereafter, the narcissism started to wear off, and I convinced myself that I had rendered myself immediately infertile, and I was on a straight, fast-track journey to hell. No service station stops, no toilet breaks, and no looking at a lone little chef and wondering, are those things actually portals to another world where the bees are doing okay and no one says the word Brexit? All of this considered, my actual letter went something more like this. Mother, I must tell you something. Sometimes I touch my winkle. Note bene, that's what my mum told me to call a vagina. I genuinely went until year 6 thinking my vulva was named after a bottom-tier seafood whelk. Sometimes I touch my winkle in a sinful fashion. I'm worried I have damaged myself and will not be able to get pregnant. Not that I want to. Just worry. Anyway, sometimes I put my Nokia 3165 down there. And I keep changing the vibrating ringtone. I have to keep bringing the phone back up to eye level to do this manually, however. So it takes me anywhere from 3 to 4 hours before I feel the devil's undulation. I understand if you don't want me in your house anymore. I only hope you can forgive. Yours, beseechingly. Amaya. Bog off. Roll is sweaty. How nervous I am. Nice. So my mum had to sit me down and tell me that actually having a wank, pretty normal. Writing a letter about it. Far less. Oh, honestly, but I had no idea what masturbation was. You know, there's so little information out there about it for women, or, you know, as I like to call masturbation these days, DIY serotonin. So after the disastrous incident with the letter, I realised I knew very little. So I decided to take to Google to see if anyone had any bean-flicking, finger-licking advice for my inept young self. And, you know,
many of you in this room have had the intuition or penis not to need one of these advice websites, then let me let you into the untapped world of those afflicted with an untapped clit. There exists these advice videos, and they always start off the same kind of way. I'm gonna let you in on the secret key to masturbation. Go on, Elsa. I'm listening. Stroke all parts of your body. Don't just focus on your genital area. All of your sensual stimuli. Leave out your leg, your upper torso, your elbow. Light a candle. And remember, it's not about orgasming. It's about getting to know yourself. Sorry. What do you mean it's not about orgasming? What is it about? Flipping houses? Transitioning to a plant-based diet? I can get to know myself better by taking a Myers-Briggs personality test. I'm looking to come, not come closer to understanding the ways in which a Virgo moon is really in conflict with being an Aquarius rising. I'm not going to be like, wow, this was totally miserable. I've fondled my kneecap for 45 minutes and wasted half a fresh linen Yankee candle, but I really feel like I've aligned my chakras. Honestly, all jokes aside, it deeply bothers me that when young women go looking for information about sex, about their bodies, we're still met with this pervasive historical narrative that women are not physical beings, that it's bad to be a physical being, that there is a submissive sex. And although this narrative is starting to change, we're starting to learn more. For so many of us in this room, when we first went looking for information about our bodies, about sex, the only information we found was about being with a man. We learned that it's normal for it to hurt, that your first time is something to endure, not to enjoy. We encounter discussions as young women about how to fake an orgasm long before we ever encounter the discussion that it's actually okay to speak up and say, if you're not having a good time, actually, thanks, Jonathan. Quite. Honestly, we still hear such damaging things said so flippantly, even if they're jokes. Like, lie back and think of England. In this economy? Imagine having such negligent sex that thinking about Boris Johnson's resignation letter is the more pleasurable. I'm imagining some poor woman having her labia prodded and being asked, are you close? Meanwhile, she's sat there thinking, not as close as Katie Hopkins is to bankruptcy. Now, when I get a crush, I don't just fantasize about the hypothetical wedding. I like to fantasize about the hypothetical marital demise. It'll start off
off in a fairly conventional way. You know, someone fit will hiccup in my direction and it shall begin. I'll be all, we shall have a spring wedding in a rustic barn. We shall drink Prosecco in jars and have flowers in Prosecco. And sweetheart neckline with a lynx overlay on the train. 12 live owls will follow me down the aisle in tight formation. The colour scheme will be a lavender and an off bergamot. I'll see a girl I fancy across the bar and I'll be like, she doesn't eat gluten, she'll never commit to me. She says she's already got a dissertation topic. Sounds like the type thing if ever I saw. I imagine 10 years into the marriage I'll resent her success. You know, she'll travel more, she'll be the breadwinner, but she still won't go near wheat products. Before I know it, she'll want custody of all our chinchillas, start drinking pulverised kale, get her eyebrows threaded in a way that says, you never satisfy me emotionally. Before I know it, she'll be leaving me for an interior designer called Gretel. Meanwhile, the woman in question is like, so it's Amaya, right? So what college you at? Oh, gosh, yes. So, I'm bisexual. Yes, I'll suck a dick every now and again. Sorry, Dad. Something I think that a lot of bisexual people hear all the time is, oh, you get the best of both worlds. This isn't Hannah Montana. This just doubles the demographic of people who can hypothetically abandon me. I'm not trying to do a bit here, you know, putting myself down, because honestly, I'm a self-styled HLB, hot little bitch. I mean, call me the prize-winning trout at the North Yorkshire County Council biannual mid-August fishmonger's fete, because I am a hot fucking cat. But I do want to talk about some issues I've encountered in my romantic excursion. A major problem I have is I can never tell for sure if someone's actually interested. Like, it could be my wedding day. The barn is set, the owls are prepped. And the other person would be like, I do. And I'd be like, but do you though? Me? Am I being pranked by the prank patrol? You've seen me dress my hamsters up in Sylvanian family outfits. And then make those hamsters record a stop-motion animation of the first season of Downton Abbey. You're all, I take thee in sickness and in health. That is my health. More for you, bitch. Now, I find it particularly difficult to figure out if women are interested, because women are so nice to each other all the time. I can never tell if someone's trying to lift my self-esteem or lift me betwixt the sheets. Even if I know that someone else is interested in women, you know, if they message me, I'll just assume it's in a platonic act of gay solidarity. Even if it's on Tinder. Honestly, a woman could look at me, phone me even, whatever, and say, "Hi, Amaya. Would you be interested to coming over to mine so we can scissor?" And I'd be like, "God, I love Karen's passion for decoupage." Oh, she likes it, girl. So, another problem I have is the very notion of dirty talk. I'm filthy in the bedroom, but not in a fun way. I once accidentally slept on a McChicken sandwich, then woke up and ate it for a 2 p.m. breakfast. Like, where would you even start? Say something naughty. Sometimes I still ask for a plastic straw with my lemonade, even though I know it fills the No? Say something really brave. Well, Greg, so you fill me up more than my last tapeworm. So sometimes when you're not around, I think about squirting an apricot through but my passage just so I can emulate the ejaculation of your wanton seed. No. How about you take on an authoritative role? Please mind the gap between the train and the platform. Yeah, I got the dominant one. You're a little piece of shit. You're a little piece of suspicious shit. When I see a little piece of suspicious shit like you, it makes me want to see it, say it, sort it. Oh, she did that. Another problem I have is that I often try to romantically proposition people when I'm drunk. And if you've ever encountered me when I'm drunk, I become a little bit of a different Pretty standard, you know, get it too loud, too giggly, become an avid kleptomaniac. Just get this sense of anarchy when I'm on the bevies. All it takes is one sip of a Smirnoff Ice, and suddenly property is a construct. I'm the protagonist in the 18th sequel of the Purge franchise, and all bets are fucking off. I take things. Only, you know, small things. Snacks, drinks, rings. I try to sort of pass it off as like a cute little personality quirk, but everyone keeps saying, it's theft. It is
theft. Sorry, not sorry about what I said. Trying to have some fun. I just wish that I could be in the club and engage in normal person club activities, you know, like sloshing your blue VK over the floor as you rhythmically bop to I'm in love with the shape of you. For the 5th time that night, looking a little bit of white powder on a table and wondering, leftover tequila salt or cat? You know, spying a Tinder match across the other side of the dance floor and dragging your best friend to the toilet so you can have a little chat about the fact that, oh, he's so hot, but he looks like the personification of emotional trauma. He's like a recent philosophy grad that doesn't wash, looks like he has jaundice and has never felt empathy. But I'm just like, slit my throat with your jawline, Bartholomew, and put me in your short film. Light me with your creative phallus and then never speak to me again. Edge me, but like, emotionally. Meanwhile, I'm on the floor of the smoking area. One nipple out. Tights already off. Clutching a lighter I found on the floor and a burger I acquired without leaving the premises. To which I am whispering through an orb of drool, my precious. Before subsequently passing out on the concrete and some bouncer having to come to peel me off the gravel of Bellare like a slab of teddy bear ham in heat. Someone else is observing the scene like, good God, Gollum got thick. Now, following on from that, do you please answer on image? I want to talk about erotica. Hold that thought. Did you just know that some filthy little fuck on Wattpad has written the phrase Smeagol's turgid member? I don't want to make fun of fanfiction writers. This is because I cannot. For I was once among them. For E.L. James, but when I want to talk about the 80,000 word How I Met Your Mother fanfic, I wrote when I was 13. Everyone's all, oh, that's weird, Amaya, and oh, Mr. Patrick Harris told you not to come within 100 yards of his residence. I actually genuinely did this. The fanfiction, not the stalking. Neil Patrick Harris's forehead intimidates me. What's he hiding in there? Oh, there's another bit next, but I'm actually just taken aback by how thick that forehead is. It's absolutely massive. Those things the rest of us do not. Perhaps he alone possesses the reason dermatologists hate her. But, you know, not to brag, but
but while some of you were out attending house parties and leaving the house, my fanfiction actually garnered quite the international following. You know, it hasn't updated since 2012, but yesterday it got 3 hits in Singapore. R.I.P. a precocious literary legend. I feel so audaciously seen by this image. I mean, I made it, but... I want to talk about a notepad I saw the other day that really upset me. We simply don't have time for segues at this point. We have to pay if we run over, and I'm 1 halloumi burger away from youth bankruptcy. Time is of the essence. So this notepad upset me because it said, "Real men are feminists." What? Does this mean sexists are holograms? The other month, my family and I went on a little mini break, and there was this guy giving us a tour of the flat we were staying in, and he sort of took my dad off to have a conversation with him, and this went on for about 5 minutes with me and my mum sort of following them around, and he didn't really try to include us, and then he noticed us and went, "Oh, sorry, loves. We were just talking about music." Music? I've never heard of her. Father forbade me from listening to the seductive Lord of the Lute, lest I vanity of the ear. I've never held a CD before. Only an apron, as my feeble womanly hands cannot sustain it, as I have not been taking my Huel protein supplement. Now, I wish I didn't have to say this, but I feel I do. Whenever I talk about feminism, I feel this need to clarify, of course, I don't hate #all men. However, I do hate a few. Kind of like a bag of mixed nuts. I mean, most tasty, full of fibre. Some will give me anaphylaxis. There's a guy a couple of years back who wrote this article on BuzzFeed about a very brave, heroic step he took in his personal feminist journey. What was this courageous act, you might be wondering? Could it be that he wrote a speaking part for a woman in his new screenplay about a misunderstood, misanthropic young artist who moves to Brooklyn to rediscover himself, whereupon he meets a beautiful blind girl who really helps him see? Oh no. But braver still, the valiant feat Adam took in progressing his feminist journey was that, well, he has sex with his own wife, who is a size 12. Too much to speak of. Honestly, I get a bit emotional when I think about Adam's struggle. So I've actually written a little song to better express my gratitude to him for his fight for marginalised women everywhere. Right, you. Come sit down. You're not going to do anything, you're just going to hold my mayo. It's about time you supported women. You don't.
pretty. What, did we forget it?
Sorry, not sorry about what I said. Look, you're just going to sit there for the whole time.
Adam used to work for Lad Bible. Someone was mean to him on Reddit, suing them for libel. Whoa. He was unhappy that they made the Ghostbusters women, but he's fine with it now, cause he'd like to fuck Kate McKinnon. Whoa. Whoa, he's not a feminist, oh no. Whoa, egalitarian, bro. Why do women have their G-strings in a twist? He just doesn't get the suffragist. Whoa, he's not a feminist, no. But he's about to meet the girl that changes him. Daisy believes in equal rights. She does empowering embroidery and has Siamese cat-shaped fairy lights. She likes a bit of kink, but nothing too freaky. She has a lot of candles and eats her pita bread with tzatziki. Oh. Whoa, Adam's still not a feminist, oh no. Whoa, he's an egalitarian bro. Why do women have their G-strings in a twist? He just doesn't get the suffragist. Whoa, he's not a feminist, no. Whoa, he's not a feminist, no. Now Daisy is stunning, but she's not thin. It's giving Adam some turmoil from within. He knows that she would not be every guy's type. So he must be real progressive. If he'd still give her the part. Daisy, I love you. Daisy, you're mine. I've only ever fancied 10s, but now I fancy a 9. The world's so fucked up, and it's you that's made me see that even your moon cup can't scare the feminism out of me. And whoa, now he is a feminist, whoa. Whoa, the patriarchy's such a hoe. He doesn't even care if Daisy wants to eat bread, and he'll even call her daddy in bed. Whoa, he's not a fat. He is actually nice. Freudian. He is a feminist. Whoa. Whoa, he's got that feminist glow. Hi everyone, I'm just here to thank you all for inviting me to this TEDxy talk for all my long-term ardent work as a male feminist. Yeah, as many of you might know, I'm actually attracted to my fat girlfriend. It's okay, I can say that. It's a little thing called reclaiming. She's a size 12 in Primark. And a 14 in other places like River Island. Thinking about how narrow-minded the world is for only liking narrow women. Not crazy. You're not narrow, but you are narrow enough that I would like to see how shallow your vaginal cavity is. Whoa, he fucks her for women everywhere. Whoa, even the ones with body hair, but not too much. He reads Eat, Pray, Love before he eats her out. He licks that beaver for Simone de Beauvoir. If she's a handmaid, he'll show her his tail. Woof. Whoa, he's still got a long way to go. Whoa, I guess he's got some time to grow. But until then, when there's a time when he can watch the new Doctor Who without thinking that it's sexist too. That's the one. No, he's not a feminist. No. No, 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 no. He's not a feminist. No. I didn't think about how awkward that would be. It's really funny in my head. So, what's the story in Balamory? Strap in, Edie McCready. It's me mental health! She has got her notes for this. Why? So what? So, I have depression, and when I was thinking about how to frame this part of the story, I wasn't really sure how to go about it. I had already put it on my flyer, so she had to think of something. I wasn't sure what the best way to approach it was. I was gonna do some jokes, you know, jokes about this one time when I went to my therapist and told her about my week, and she said, God, no wonder you're depressed. Jokes about me stress alopecia, jokes about this one time when I rang a suicide hotline and the woman said, well, you've got a lot to be grateful for, you are at Cambridge. And I think that the best way to frame this bit isn't through jokes, and it's not a sad story, I don't think. It's a happy one now. It's a lot of things, and it's mine. So, when I was little, I really wanted to be a comedian. I used to write these weird sketches with my best friend Emily, where I was a menacing recurring character called Big Parrot. It's too raw. And I just didn't care if anyone thought I was weird. I just wanted to make people laugh. But when I had to take my GCSEs and my A-levels, I started to spiral with depression and anxiety. I was compulsive. I thought about dying every day, and I thought that that was normal. I thought that that was going to be my version of normal for the rest of my life, however long that might be. Things started to become different. I started to see things differently, like trains and tweezers. So when it was time for me to start university, I was just 18, and comedy, it didn't really seem like something I could do anymore. I saw there were so many opportunities, but it just didn't feel like there were. Not for me. I was so scared of people thinking I was weird. I felt like the only thing I had to talk about was my sadness. I felt the only way I could connect with people was if they felt sorry for me. So a couple of months ago, I saw this play about mental health, and I left it very stoically with dry eyes, and a couple of hours later I was sobbing in a public toilet. The play had a lot of themes about how important it is to reach out for help, and well, I think that most of us already know that, but we don't really know how to. So there's no template for how to do that, you know, how to pick up the phone and say, "Hi, hope your Tinder date went well. Love those dungarees you just posted on your Insta story. Also, I am imminently considering drinking bleach." There's no formula for how to start that conversation or how to respond to it. There's no right or wrong, really. So, I left the public toilet I was in, mascara on my titties, sporting a delightful snot moustache, in need of an emotional tampon, and my will to live was one skinny legend. I knew you'd like that. And it was raining, my phone was broken, you know, I didn't have my keys on me, I had no idea what to do, so I just walked to where I knew some of my friends were staying, and I desperately was hoping that someone would be in. And I knocked on the door, and there was no reply. The rain was worse, I was shaking, I started to leave, not knowing where I was going to go next. And just then, crossing the road was my friend, holding a bag of dry pasta and some sauce he'd just bought from a Scottish co-op. And I hurtled towards him, and we went upstairs, and he listened to me crying and talking about how the play made me think about how bad my life was a year ago, how alone I felt, and how terrified I was of feeling like that again. And he looked at me and said, as though it was the most obvious thing in the world, that, "Don't you see how different that is from how things are now?" And seeing that, knowing he was with me, I was able to laugh. My chest felt lighter. And then, ever the joker, I said, "Oh my god, my eyeliner makes my tears look like Dementor Spaff." Yikes indeed. Oh gosh. It's a lot, this. He made me pasta with peas, and we danced around this grubby little student kitchen, and then I went and did my set in the show I was in, and went for a beer afterwards, and on the way home, for the first time in a long time, I felt my key digging into my palm, and then my forearm, and then I stopped firmly and went to bed. I guess you could say that this play triggered me, but in this case, in my case, I'm glad that it did. Because it was cathartic to cry at the play, and even more cathartic to have someone there with me, and most cathartic of all, to get up the next day feeling happy and smiling and determined to laugh, even though the previous day hadn't been a good one. And even though I didn't handle it in the best possible way in that moment, I handled it so much better than I would have 2 years ago, 1 year ago. Finding the help you need in a desperate moment isn't always easy, but sometimes it really is a 10-minute walk away, outside a Scott Mid holding a jar of sweet chili Dolmio. Like I said, I've always wanted to do something like this show. When I was little, I had this shitty scratch DVD of the Catherine Tate show, and I would watch it every day after school, even though we only had one season. Very repetitive. And I wanted to be just like her. I wanted to dye my hair ginger and do exactly what she did. And my hair is brown, and probably never going to have a spunky 2-season arc on Doctor Who. Especially if the BBC ever found my fanfiction account. And I don't know what I will do with my future. Maybe it will be comedy, maybe it won't. I've always thought I'd be pretty good as a sexy TV chef. And I have got a Google Doc full of untapped John Lewis Christmas adverts. Very much pending. But I do know that 2 years ago, even 1 year ago, I wasn't sure if I wanted a future. And now I'm here doing this. I never would have imagined I'd be brave enough to do something like this when I was a first year. And I was so anxious when I would sit refreshing my emails, getting rejected from the 40th play that week that I'd auditioned for with trembling hands, feeling like I wasn't good enough at my degree, I didn't look nice enough, that I wasn't good enough for my friends, that I wasn't really good enough for anything. And I just wish I could go back and tell that girl that, of course you are. Of course you can do the thing that you want to. And you will. I've never been more happy with the person I'm becoming as I go into this next year. And absolutely terrified too. But I'm learning now to balance those things, to add mixer to the liquor. I guess it does get better. I think that sometimes we're so busy getting better that we don't realise that it's happening. But it is. In little steps, I think. So, let's end this comedy show. Notes are my notes. On a positive note. I have written a little song about all of the things that I do not hate. And actually, dare I say, quite love. Negativity is unavoidable, and it can be fun, it can be important, but it isn't quite palatable without some sweetness. Watch me forget these lyrics. I need to talk about a few of my favourite things. It's like the sound of music, but with fewer Nazis. And fewer children. I had spent so long feeling #sad. I guess I had forgotten what still made me #glad. Positivity, maybe it can be for me. 'Cause I love a lot of things arbitrarily. I love having gin with raspberry tonic. I love Nintendo with Mario and Sonic. I love when a custard cream gets damp in a cup of tea. I love a lot of things. It's an integral part of me. Here's a list of things that I really, really love. I love being Alpha Buff from Wicked in my uni kitchen. And I love season 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race. I think it's really bitchin'. I love pictures of fat hamsters on my Instagram. And I love when the only topic I revised comes up on my exam. Maybe it can be for me, 'cause I love a lot of things arbitrarily. What the fuck do I love next? No slide. I love pumpkin spice drinks at Starbucks. I love celebrity rubber ducks. I love that they're probably gonna make a Mamma Mia 3. Oh, I love a lot of things. It's an integral part of me. I love making pasta with my friends and asking them about their day. Telling myself I matter even though it's hard to say. Making good things even better than they would be anyway. Like a forkful of cake is nice, but you deserve the whole souffle. You thick. Tuna sandwich for lunch is fine, but we can help it on its way. It's better with a bit